yeah, as promised, the main thing that I worked really hard on to get it to perfection is the octagon gate for the control stick. And yeah, I tried very hard to make the notches have really the perfect values. I'll just put up the mega sizes so we can see the exact inputs that it triggers. Okay, so yeah, when I'll put the camera somewhere where it doesn't interfere. Yeah, like that. Okay, so the purple values you can see at the bottom right of the game screen. These are the controller angles, and if I hold to the west slightly upward notch, you can see that it right now reads a value of 0.315125, and that's two values away from perfection. So the very perfect value would be this one, 0.2875, but I decided that I would shift it a slight bit more upward, because the angles are so similar that it won't make a difference in, or it will make hardly any difference in playing. But with time, the control stick notches will wear out a bit, and then you will probably get notches that are closer to to the straight left. So I think it's better to have a bit of like kind of buffer for wear down, so that you'll still get like after 1 or 2 years you'll still have notches that are not straight left. And so the main thing this is useful for is for long wave dashes. It's easier to get maximum length wave dashes when you have these notches. Yeah, my wave dashes probably aren't very crisp because I'm used to the mouth timing. I don't really play Fox. Yeah, but I still think that they have somewhat decent length, like I'm doing them right now. Yeah, but it's mostly for recovering like this, where you try to sweet spot against someone who's trying to edge guard you with forward smash, like Marth or something. Yeah, that's the main use for this. But also for if you don't want to like wall hug recovery, but recover more like this, where you try to just get maximum length for recovering when you're very far away from the stage. Yeah, this is hard to show because I can't jump as far away with Fox without being, this is a decent example maybe. Yeah, so it's much more reliable to get these angles with these notches. Yeah, and the same works for right, of course. I think I've got the exact same values for left and right when I'm holding this notch. Wait. .325. Yeah, that works too. And also another reason why I gave these notches just a slight bit more upwards than perfection is because depending on which angle you push the control stick from, the value will read a bit different. When I'm just pressing from the opposite direction here, then it will have 0.3375. Yeah, it's a bit hard to read because of the other things. Okay, now 0.325. But if I press more like first towards the northeast notch and then push it downwards, then I will get sometimes 3.3125. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that it would not happen that by pressing in a certain way you would get values below 0.2875 like this one, because that would trigger straight forward. Like if I hold 0.275, then he'll just go straight. And that's of course what we want to avoid. Always when you hold the notch, then it should trigger the angle. Yeah. Okay, I'll read the chat comments now. Okay, great, you can hear me loud and clear. That's okay, I was out of frame. Okay, I will pay more attention so that my hand stays where it should be. Okay, then. Let's go on. Oh, and I'll put my stream preview somewhere else so I can read the chat, if that's possible. No, it's not read. Ah, it is. Okay, now I can read both. Okay, so yeah, these were just these notches. What we also have is the same for downwards, of course. So yeah, when you're recovering like this, you often want to have the slightly downward notches so you can reach ledge safely. Yeah, and these I think I got even a bit better with these values. Yeah, when you cling to the slightly below left notch, you get a value between 0.3 and 0.3125, depending on the direction you use. And if you hold yeah, if you put southwest first and then slide upwards until you reach the notch, you sometimes even get 0.2875, but that happens rarely, which is good, I think, so that you don't accidentally overshoot with the downward motion. Yeah, and I think this is like really useful. Oh, now I messed up. This is really useful for recovering because these sweet spots are places where mouth can't hit you with anything from the stage, and it often makes a really big difference. I'm sure you all know that with the unmodded control stick 8s, it's very hard to reach these values because the straight side of the octagon makes it so that you either slide to full left or to 45 degrees downwards, and yeah, often this causes you to get straight left even though you want it, yeah, slightly below left. Yeah, and you see that I'm sometimes messing up. That's because the notches for straight left and slightly below straight left are very close together, so it takes some time to get used to this feeling, and I actually don't have one of these controllers for myself yet, so yeah, I usually play with a controller that feels a bit different. But I'm sure that after a couple of days of getting used to this and practicing, that it should not be a problem to tactile feel these notches at all. Yeah, and of course, yeah, and another, I found out something new, and that's, you've probably seen this often, but I don't think it's really been talked about. So the thing is, usually when you do an up B, and you do it onto the floor, then like you've just seen, you collide like this. But when you hold downward values that are almost horizontal, like almost perfect, I think the values that work are 0.2875 or minus 0.2875, 0.3, 0.3125 and 0.325. And what happens when you use one of these values is that Fox will not collide with the floor. He will like slide along the ground like this. And I'm not sure yet whether this is useful for something, but I do think so, because it can sometimes let you reach ledge quickly. Yeah, not like this. This was a straight one. Yeah, like this. So that might be useful, and also it's also really good for recovering, because when you recover from, say, here, from here, No. Okay, just let's say for some reason that you from here. Yeah, that was a good example. When you recover like this, then probably your opponent will expect that you will collide against the floor somewhere here and try to attack you, but your B might just go through them and through the ground, and yeah, that might surprise them and yeah, give you an advantage. And also, it's somewhat similar in use like the normal straight up B, but the problem with the straight up B is that afterwards, now is the 3-1-0 animation, and it actually takes 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, I don't know, like 19 frames from the 3-1-0 animation until you're actionable. And I think that with this, it's much less. Okay, 3-1-1. Okay, and now you're... Yeah, I think it's a few frames less that you have lag, because it feels like you can act almost immediately. So it might even possible to like combo someone that way and do an up air afterwards. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this will have much use, but sometimes it might come in handy. Okay, then yeah, the other angles that we have are the ones at the bottom here, which of course are also the plus minus 18 degrees deviation from cardinal angles, and the same for above. So for above, this will make you go in with these angles, which is sometimes really useful when you are like at this position where straight up will no longer bring you to the ledge. But if you hold an angle that it's too much horizontally, then you will be too low. So yeah, that's really useful for these situations. And it's also useful for when you are on battlefield. And I mean, this doesn't happen often, but sometimes it happens that you get stuck here. And what you want to do here is hold the angle that's just slightly to the right of straight up, which causes you to travel like this. Yeah, and usually you really have to hope that you will get this angle, because it's so hard with normal controllers, which cause you to either overshoot and end up here, or just undershoot and go straight up. But with this angle, with this controller, it's like guaranteed to get that angle, as long as you've gotten used to the feel of it. Yeah, and the same works for left, of course. Ah, I bumped my head. Again. Yeah. Yeah, like this. Yeah, and also, yeah, you can use these notches for recovering like this. But yeah, I mean, oops, yeah, I messed up again. This doesn't happen too often, I guess. You can also use them for very short wave dashes. And these, actually, I think these are sometimes useful, but maybe not so much for Fox, but more like for Marth. Let's say a space animal is doing shield pressure on your shield, and you want to grab them with Marth, but if you just grab, you'll get hit by their shine or neutral air. So what you sometimes want to do is you wave dash out of shield, just with these slide notches, and this will often be enough to get you out of their shine and neutral air range, and then you can save the grab. So that's, and with when you do the normal wave dash angle, it usually puts you too far away from them to get an attack. Yeah, so you can really reliably do short wave dashes. Yeah, and the angles in between, a small problem was that I did try to make it as easy as possible to get angles that are not like 18 degrees away from straight, but a bit more, like say 25 degree or 30 degree. And but thing is, the more I rounded these areas to make every angle as as accessible as possible, the more it happens that the control stick at the supposedly perfect value was a bit too far horizontally, because the resistance from this side was less. So instead of, let's say, 0.3125 on the x value, I got like 0.35 or 0.4, and that's just too much. So yeah, I decided to give priority to having the almost perfect notches and having the values in between be not as easy as they could be, because if I had rounded this even more, then it would be almost impossible to get these notches to their perfect value. Yeah, there's a question right now. Accelerator1 asked if I do that for everyone. I do if you like fill the submission form on Smashboards, that I will show you if you hit send me a PM there, and yeah, and after you pay the money, because I charge some for the time I spent working on this. This controller took about 4 hours, I think, because I often like screwed it. I had to, when I do these modifications, I don't just change the shape and that's it. No, I first do like a draft where I try to get the right values. Then I read every one of them with the Magus input display mod that you are seeing right here, and then I optimize them and correct them and improve them, and I repeat that for like 5 to 10 times. Yeah. So because it takes time to reach this level that's somewhat close to perfection, yeah, I do have to charge some money for that. Yeah, okay, so what are other things? Yeah, shield drops, of course. The thing is, shield drops are a bit harder to do with this controller than with one that does not have the hybrid gate. And hybrid gate is what I call it when you have these perfect notches, plus minus 18 degree, and the rounded area in between. And actually, to do the shield drops is always harder than with controllers only modded for shield drops, when you have the plus minus 18 degree notches, but it's still very easy. Like, I don't really use shield drops at all, but as you can see, it just works every time, except when you press the wrong way. So your goal here is to first press left and then slide down, but still press to the right too. I can't explain this very well, but the thing is, if you just press to the left and then press straight down, then it will cause you to spot dodge often. I will try to do this on purpose now. Yeah, like this. Because the reason is that when you press like this, then the notch here will provide some resistance. And if you press straight down, then this resistance will push you to the left, and you will end up being below the minus 45 degree notch. And also because of the slight rounding down that's part of the hybrid gate, it's a bit easier to slide too far downwards. But yeah, as I said, this only happens when you press it in the wrong way. So if you got the feel for how you have to press the stick for these notches, then as you can see, or cannot see, because it just messed up. Yeah, it's like very reliable. Okay, yeah, and I think the only thing that's left is, two things. One is that another two things that KoopaTroopa asked me to do, which I will just talk about so that more people know about this, is that I exchanged the stick boxes that are below the control stick and below the C stick, because I found out that the stick box that's normally under the C stick has a weaker spring. Yeah, I posted some pictures in the Relay It On Me article that I wrote recently. Yeah, okay, so the C stick box is weaker, so I exchanged the two stick boxes so that the initial stiffness that a new white controller usually has decreases somewhat. So this should make it easier for backdashes. Yeah, but backdashes are still hard because, yeah, of the reasons that I wrote about. Okay, yeah, so that's one thing I did. And another thing is the C-stick notches. Yeah, as you can see here, the C-stick has these additional notches. Yeah, and I can't show this with Fox because he only has one kind of forward smash. But if I switch to Falcon and show this, okay. So usually I think it's not all that easy to get an up-angled or down-angled forward smash with the C-stick reliably, because yeah, again of the east northeast side of the octagon gate that makes it hard to get values that are at its middle, and usually causes you to slide either to the notch above it or the notch below it. But with this one, whoops, oh okay, I forgot. This is Mega's input display, an earlier version that doesn't have C-stick functionality in develop mode. Okay, so now when I hit that angle, it should always get straight up or straight down. Yeah, and to the left too, of course. Oops. Yeah, I mean it still takes some time to get the precision. Okay, someone just asked why are there two cameras. The reason is that the bottom one is like faster. It has 60 FPS, but it's also a bit you know, it flickers a bit because of the high frequency, and it also has a bit worse resolution. But for fast movements, it's much better than the other one. So yeah, I had this excess space, and I thought that maybe sometimes one camera will be better to look at. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's it pretty much. Yeah, and another thing I did was lubing the L&R triggers with a little bit of silicone oil. And I did this, maybe I have a spare one somewhere where I can show this to you easily. Yeah, I can show it you like this. So for those who want to do this too, I mean, yeah, the problem is usually that with new controllers, when you press the L&R triggers at an angle, like from here for example, they tend to get stuck a bit. And I think the reason for this, at least what I have done so far hints at this, is that when you put these away, now you should be able to see. I think my camera is too bad to pick up, but maybe a little bit. Yeah, like this slider here, this light gray one. This one here. I hope that the light picks it up. I'll move the light a bit. Okay, like this maybe. Okay, so this one here will get stuck within the black tube. So what I did was apply silicone oil to this area with a Q-tip. Yeah, and that improved it quite a lot. So before that I thought that it was the right thing to do would be to decrease the size of the inner tube, but that was completely wrong because it's already like thin enough, and so that it doesn't get stuck, and decreasing its length with files or something actually makes it easier to get stuck because it will have an even more of an angle against the inner wall. Yeah, so really lubing with silicone oil is the appropriate thing here. And another thing that you can do or ask me to do to improve this is removing decreasing the neutral position. So usually your controller has sliding potentiometers on the control board that fix attach to these parts here. And when you press C stick, then it will be read by this sliding potentiometer. Yeah, and this means that the neutral position is up here. And when you press from here, then it will be possible to get stuck because it will be at the very top of the inner tube here, where it can have more of an angle. But if we assume that the neutral position is more downwards, then the angle that it can have against the inner wall will be less. So it will be even less likely to get stuck. And I do this by here's a dead PCB. Oh no, almost dead. I will try not to destroy it completely by handling it too rough. Okay, so here's a PCB of a controller. And what I will do is I will add I will put plastic spaces that I create from plastic bottles in here. I hope the camera shows this. Yeah, I will put plastic pieces in here, and that will cause the slider to not go up like this where it usually is, but only to like here. And this will of course only also hold down the trigger parts here they are attached to, so it will rest at this position instead of this position. And this is also useful for power shielding, because yeah, like when you want to power shield, you want to, yeah, I've talked about this often, but I don't think it will hurt to repeat this. When you want to do power shields, the main problem is that you have to go through the analog zone that's read by this sliding potentiometer as quickly as possible, like in less than one frame. Yeah, of course, when you're already at this position before pressing, then it will be easier to pass through the analog zone quickly and reach the digital press that is triggered by this this rubber plate here. Yeah. The only thing that you have to watch out for is that when you use Nintendo on the Wii for loading GameCube games, then you have to ensure that, I don't know, they have some option called direct input feed or something like that, or native input, something along these lines. And you have to make sure to enable it, because otherwise the loader will assume that your trigger is at this position, and it will always light shield if you have this mod enabled. So yeah, that's the only problem with it, but I mean it's easily solvable if you just select this native input mode in Nintendo. Yeah, I think that's everything I did for this controller. Yeah, that's really all. Yeah, and I will send it today from the post office, and it should arrive within 1 or 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. And if there are other questions, then I will read them for like another 10 minutes, and then I have to shut down the stream because I need to head off to school. I mean, you can see the current times on the stream. It's almost 8 AM here, so classes will start soon. Accelerator 1 asks, is there a best USB loader? I like to use USB loader GX, but I mean, I prefer Coop, but I think it can only be used for GameCubes, like the one that I'm using right now. Okay, I'm reading the older questions now. Yeah, I will archive this for reference. I will put it on, I don't know yet, maybe my normal channel, Kadano, or on the Melee Mechanics channel. Not sure yet. Okay. Andy asked, I have a lot of trouble with turnarounds. Neutral 8. For new controllers, is there anything one can do? Yeah, like I said before, the C-stick notch usually has a weaker spring than the control stick one, and what you can do is exchange them. Like that PCB that I was showing earlier, this one. Yeah, well, this one actually has like a broken control stick. Yeah, but that's not important. What you can see here is that this part here is black, and this usually, or at least with the 3 times I've seen this, means that it will have a weaker spring, a thinner spring that has less resistance. So, Andy, what I would do if I was you, I would put out the screws here, and yeah, to take the potentiometers off, and then you can just exchange the 2 stick boxes with each other, and then you will have the stick box with less resistance on the control stick, which will make it a bit easier for backdashes and smash turns. But it's still not guaranteed. Like I explained in the article, you have to pass through the zone very quickly, and the only way to do this perfectly reliable would be to add a button that does full left dashes immediately, like a digital button. But I think, yeah, I mean that would be in electrical modifications, and these are usually or sometimes banned at tournaments. So I think it's a bit risky to do something like that. Yeah. So all modifications that I offer are purely mechanical, and usually that's not banned at tournaments. So I think you're somewhat safe with that. Yeah, so again, what I would do if I was you, take this stick box and put it here. Okay. Yeah, I will wait another 3 minutes for questions and answer them. Yeah, then I'll shut down the stream. Like, when timer reaches 7:45, then yeah, that's it for today. Oh, okay, Andy, you meant B turnarounds. B turnarounds. I think that the same offer that I just talked about might work for this too, because less resistance also makes it easier to do B turnarounds. Yeah, it should also improve with time, because the resistance will decrease even then. Yeah, I mean, with this controller, which is new except for the exchanging of the stick boxes, so it's pretty much unused except the little playtesting I did with it. I think it's relatively easy to do reverse B. I mean, it might look somewhat bad what I'm doing right now, but I don't really practice Fox, so yeah. But yeah, compared to the other controllers I have, this is I think it works pretty well with this controller. So yeah, I think exchanging stick boxes, assuming that you have either a long colored white controller or a smash white or a smash black controller, because with these it's guaranteed that you have type 3 notches, where this exchanging thing can be done. With older controllers that have type 2 stick boxes, like I'll show you an example of one, if I have one here. Yeah, this Dead Wave Bird has a type 2 stick box, and yeah, you can notice this because one, it will have a metal shell. Metal shell means it's either type 1 or type 2, and none of the internal parts are gray, they are all white, and if they are all white, then it's always a type 2 stick box. Type 1 stick boxes are by far the worst. Yeah, this is one. Yeah, so this is a type 1 stick box, and as you can see, there's this gray part within it, I hope you can see this. Will the camera pick it up? Like the upper one has a type 1 stick box, and this one is a type 2 stick box. And type 1s, I think that they are the worst, and type 2s usually have a bit less initial resistance than type 3 stick boxes, which are the ones that are always in new controllers. So I think type 2s are actually probably the best for backdashes and reverse B. Yeah, so get a type 2 controller if you can. If the mod that I said before with exchanging control sticks, C-stick stick boxes will not do the job for you, then getting a type 2 controller is probably your safest bet. The Indiegogo, where is the best place to PM you? Just on Smashboards. I reply fast on Smashboards usually, and I have all the stuff there, so I can send you information about the mods that I offer. So yeah, my username there is Kadano, the one that I'm usually known for, and yeah, just send me a PM there if you want one like this or are interested in the other modifications. There's like this long conversation that I have on Smashboards where I just add people to who are interested, and in the OP that I often update, I have information about all the things that I offer. Like the only thing that is not within it yet that I did for KoopaTroopa's controller is the C-stick notches, but I will add them today or tomorrow too, so that's definitely something that everyone can request. When are we getting a comprehensive controller tutorial? There are so many things that you can do to controllers. I think it doesn't make sense to try to include them all, because it would be a, I don't know, 4-hour video that no one would bother to watch through, or a very long post. And I don't know how you feel about this, but very long guides and posts are usually something that put me off, especially if they don't have lots of visual things to look at that illustrated quickly. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. I'm shutting down the stream now, but yeah, I will stay in the chat for like another 3 minutes and answer questions that you still have. Okay, see you, and KoopaTroopa, yeah, I hope that the controller will arrive soon. I'm not sure if you sent me your address yet for shipping, but I think so. I will look it up on Smashboards. Yeah, see you.